What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the Motorcycle Garage. We've got another little filler-in video on building a shop stool. So what I have at the moment currently isn't working. It's my shitty little wheelie stool with a motorcycle jack on top of it, so that's not going to cut it. So I've been looking at Mancave Makings. Has got a lot to answer for, to be honest. I watch his videos and I get inspired. So he's done a really cool video on building a really cool shop stool, and his design's awesome. Again, check it out, links in the bio. But I can't be asked doing as much as that. I'm literally going to use the materials I have to hand, so one of which is a bit of old steam pipe. I can't remember the diameter. So I'm going to use that as the main base, and you can kind of see on the little cutaway I'm going to have a bit of M30 thread that goes through. I'll weld a couple of nuts in there, and then I'll just shove 3 legs on it, get a little flange, and then attach a wooden seat to the top of that, and then I'll cover that, or I'll ask my mum nicely to cover it get a foam and cover it so I don't do a shit job. But so anyway, just thought I'd do a quick video showing you how I'm building this stool. I think some of my other videos about how I made shit that isn't related to a motorbike seemed quite interesting to some people, so yeah, just follow along and join in on the old adventure. Jesus. One. This is 55 from the end of this table. So all I need to do is figure out how much 40mm, how wide I want it to be out from the center, and then also how long I want each section to be, and where I want to kind of mount these. Way annoying fucking crotch rocket. Anyway, fuck was I about to say? So got everything cut. What I now need to do is match this bit so that it fits nicely over like a so. I think I'm just going to take a third. Assume like a third is going to go wrap round. That should be enough, hopefully. So I'll make a little, line the thing up, and then draw. What I'll do is I'll mark a bit on the tubing so that I know that I'm always lining it up the right amount on the bit of square tubing. I'm aware saying tubing to describe the various types of tubing was not probably the most intuitive, but use round tubing to mark up against the square tubing, and I'll mark them, and then ideally it would be nice to have a hole saw that was big enough so you could just cut a notch out, but I've not got that, so I am just going to have to rely on using my angle grinder with a sanding attachment, but it's fine, we'll make it work. So I'm going to go do that. Okay, so I may have skipped a few steps again. So I have cut profiles into all of these out sections, and the plan now is to, I guess, weld together. So I've got 3 of these. I've got my tube, 3 of these like this. These will be spaced 120 degrees apart, or as near as I can be asked doing. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'll weld these bits on first. Weld the legs on first, so that this bit's going to be easier if this bit's welded on first. So I think I'll put that like that, get that all welded up, and do the same for the other 2 legs, and then we'll get to assembling the whole thing. may have skipped a few steps, which is always a good thing to do in an instructional video, but I got my 30mm nuts, but they ended up being, I was a gigantic retard, standard. I thought the OD of this pipe meant that I could actually get this 30mm nut dropped in, but in reality it was far too big. If I was to try and get this 30mm nut to fit inside this hole, I would have had to cut away so much material that it probably wouldn't have been very good at all. So I finished welding this just because it was I wanted to get it done and out of the way. But what I have done is asked my friend's dad nicely to turn me down a bolt on the lathe, same in the bottom. So what I'm going to do, this just gets rid of the hexagonal on the outside of the nut, and they put a little step in it and just chapped it into place, so it's probably in quite hard. On the bottom, I'm just gonna, this is where I would have liked a nice clean looking thing that the nut would have been inside and you wouldn't have actually seen. But what this does is, I guess, if I've got a thread at the top and a thread at the bottom here, then I can just run my M30. You should see this stuff, it's a bit of a beast. This M30 rod will just get cut to size and then run down through the middle. So, and then there's not a huge amount left to do on the seat. I've got some leftover plywood from the motorcycle table that I built. So leftover plywood, I'm just going to make a nice round base, whatever size, I need to figure that out. And then I will, hello, you're getting heavy. Cut that to size, and then I've got a little pipe flange that I will bolt to the bottom of that seat. I've got some material and I've got some foam, so never used any of that before. Not sure how good it's going to look. I could spend ages figuring it out, making it really, really nice. What I might just do is shove it on. It's a shop stool. I've probably spent far too long on this anyway. I've got a bad habit of just getting deviated and doing this and doing that and everything else. So we'll get that built, and then yeah, just follow the steps. Let's see how we go. What I really like about this welding table, and if you haven't seen it, click that little card there and you can have a little look at this, the video after this. But what I really like about this welding table is how modular it is and how it helps improve the workflow. So if we take this, I now have a nice place to hold that in situ whilst I can run this thread through. I'm not going to. Seems weirdly tight. I don't know why. So my fear with this is if I weld this together, then it's going to get stuck. It got stuck there, and that was just hand tight, and then I had to take it off quite a bit of force. Now all this bottom bolt, all this bottom nut is doing is to stop the thing from moving. So that wobbles around. It's quite a bit bigger down below because it's obviously a longer plane. So if I do that, tighten that up, it makes it a nice firm seat. So I think by having that seam on the inside, it's causing it to kind of grind against the inside of that seam. I can't get all the way into that seam, probably because I've got quite a close tolerance. I think what I'm going to do is not weld this nut, but keep it handy. And then when I need to change the height of the stool, I loosen that nut, push the stool down, because you can move the stool down and up without that nut. It's just not very free flowing. Man, this is a really shit YouTube video. Here's how I made a stool that isn't very good. Follow along and build your own. Be disappointed just like me. I think that's probably the best option for this. I don't want to get so far, build something, and then find that I can't unscrew it. I need the change in height, because this seat's not just going to do here. I might work at this point here, I might work wherever. So I don't know. That's probably something I need to speak to about people who've done these before, because I know that's what they do. They do a nut at the top and the bottom. I think the way that they get the nut on the top and the bottom is they do fit them directly in the tubing, so I guess maybe you can get it more square. I don't know, it's a weird one. Anyway, let's go and cut the top. Let's go get the pipe flange fitted to the centre of the seat. and then we'll chuck some foam on, we'll chuck some vinyl on, and then we'll just call this piece of shit done and get on with the next video. But I've still got this left over. So one thing I have been given is, I borrowed this from Gus at Mancave Makings. It's a pneumatic staple gun, which I'm most looking forward to having a shot of. So all I'm going to do now is cut the shape and start stretching over this this vinyl over onto my seat base, and then hopefully it goes alright. Okay, so that was a complete pain in the backside to do. I've never done that before working with vinyl, but we now have a seat base. I need to trim the underside. There's a few bits, I spent ages, but there's a few bits I'm still not happy with. But if you look at it quickly, then it's probably okay. First attempt, I think if I was to do it again, I would maybe do it a little bit differently. I'm not sure what I would do differently, but I would do it differently. So, final piece of the puzzle, I've taken the bit of thread out and cut it to size. I've also got some pipe flanges, you can get these online. So I've just cut down a bit of the thread and put this pipe flange on. So though I need to connect this pipe flange to the wooden base of the seat. For that, I'm going to use, I don't know if you can, clearly you can see this, but it's little threads, wood thread inserts. So I've already marked out where that needs to go. So drill a hole, put the wood thread in, put the pipe flange on top, and then just put an M6 thread in the top, and then that will be the seat. So I'm going to go and trim this quickly, and then put those things in place, and then we'll have a finished seat, I think, which is progress. Yay! We finished the stool. What an amazing stool it is. It's quite shite, but to be honest, it gives me something to sit on, it gives me something to weld on. I probably cut the thread too long. I assumed if I was having to sit higher up at certain points. I'm not really sure why I would need to be sat higher than this, but who cares? Yeah, that was I don't know, take from that what you will. Three-legged stool is a good idea because it always finds its balance point, regardless of if it's uneven or not. It's always got a plane that it can make itself level on. So that's handy, especially in a wonky workshop. And then, yeah, the seat cover, that was fine. I'll probably try and do that a little bit differently if I did it next time. But the vinyl was fine. The hydraulics or the pneumatic thingy gun stapler was a good addition. That was, once I got that dialed in, the first few times it was pretty scary. It was just tearing right through the vinyl, but once I dialed that back, it was working pretty well. the stool's fine, it's comfortable. I can easily use my foot pedal on the welder, and I can make that, oh Christ, which is down here. So for me, yeah, good welding experiment, good welding project. Actually the feet work out as nice little footrests as well. Yeah, whatever. If you want to try it, then give it a go. Definitely check out Gus's one. His is a lot more nice. Mine was, I threw it together with scraps, and obviously I had to buy the M30 thread. Ideally you would want a coarser thread, like an Acme style thread, but I found it quite difficult to get hold of, so I just went with an M30. But apart from that, yeah, I've now got a workshop stool, so well, hey, there's another one ticked off the list. The list is getting shorter. Next thing I need to make that isn't related to the motorbike is a crankshaft stool for my drums. I play a lot of drums, and I thought I could do a cool stool out of a crankshaft, so that might be a little bit more interesting. It will give me a better chance to try and do a nice thrown top again rather than this half-assed thing that I've attempted to do, so take the learnings from that and try and figure out how to do it a little bit differently. But if you like what you saw, if you're going to make your own, let me know, show me what you've got. Yeah, hopefully this was of use to some people, and we'll see you back in the next video, whatever that may be. Take it easy, guys.